What's up, guys? Rico here. Welcome back, Chibind Brothers. If you look on my screen right now, it's because I'm about to say something about it. Well, it looks to me like the console culture has moved on even to the S&P 500 ESG or environmental social government. Tesla got booted out at the S&P 500 ESD, but the weird part is ExxonMobil, if you don't know which company it is, they drill oil, blah blah blah, gas, and you know what it is. ExxonMobil is rated as one of the top 10 or best companies by the S&P ESG. And Tesla got booted out. Huh. It's really weird for a company that's literally emission free. But I know one of the reasons that they're talking about is because of the way I guess Tesla is treating their employees and how they've been handling a lot of the um, FCCs and a lot of different stuff that they are claiming for a reason to boot Tesla out of it. But to me, it's complete bogus. Anyway, it feels more like on a personal level. I think that Twitter takeover did not really sit well with a lot of different people, and I think some people want to hurt the money. That's just my personal opinion anyway. I don't want to ramp too much into this. I know you came to watch this video because we're going to be talking about stocks and where we actually going to go with this. All right. I got some exciting news, first of all, because I want to congratulate all the apes for everything that you guys have done all the way to, well, drum roll. Now, I know. A lot of you might be wondering, why do I have this screen right here? But some of you might be already jumping on your chairs because Melvin Capital is literally shutting down. This is the one that actually was overexposed to the GameStop saga. They were pretty big. They were shorting big time GameStop, and then they lost a lot. They lost a lot, even though they tried to manipulate and have some people trying to help them out to try to shut the market down pretty much and stop us from buying, but only selling for quite a while and everything that happened. But guess what? It's starting to catch up to them because it is official. We just took one and it's going down the waters. Oh, yes, it's sinking like that Russian ship. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that news to you guys. Again, I know I'm a little bit salty today, but it is what it is. I just want to show you what's going on, and I want to show you that we've been doing pretty good, and the apes strong as always. All right, we're going to move on from the news, all right? We're going to move from the news. We're going to go to the stock, the SPY. I know this is one of the things that you wanted to see, so I'm just going to dive right into it. All right, so right now, it's not exactly looking the way we would like it to be. I know this sentence doesn't make you feel really good, but I like to look at the fact, and the fact in the chart right here is telling us, is giving us some very mixed feelings. But it's better that you know, so that way everybody is prepared. Okay. We have been, this is by the way is a weekly chart. The reason I'm showing the weekly chart is because we've been through this sell-off now for over 5 months, and we're still going through it, and it's gonna take a while before we actually get out of it. It's gonna take a little while because we need to go back up. But again, because there's so many uncertainties, and those uncertainties have to do with inflation and everything else. Everybody, you guys know what happened. One of the stocks that actually reported earnings yesterday was Target. You know, Target is one of the favorites, almost consumer favorite stores, should I say? Companies like Target or like Costco or even Walmart, they're kind of like indicators to tell us where consumers are spending their money, like how much interest there is. Are they holding off, or are they spending too much than before? And from what we've seen, even when if I talk about Walmart, there has been a 3 to 4% decline in consumer spending, which is starting to show like people are trying to reserve themselves from spending money because everybody's looking into these uncertainties. And Target disappointed a lot by missing expectation, and even telling us that going forward into the next quarters, and it's going to be a lot more tougher. So they didn't really give us a really great guidance, which is showing that The struggle is there because these type of stories is where we actually seeing where the money goes most of the time, because it represents a lot of these other retail stores that people or consumers go spend their money into. And so you want to pay attention to things like that. That actually tells you where kind of the direction of things are going to go. And things like this could force the Fed to even be more aggressive in, raising interest rate. One way or another, they flip flop before. They were saying we're going to do a 25-point basis, and then they moved on to a 50-point basis. Nothing is impossible at this point. They could be even much more aggressive than that. It's possible, or they might not. Again, they can flip flop because they've done it before. So what I want to show you is the fact in the chart right here. If you look, that candle that we closed with last week was a very bullish one. It doesn't matter even if it was. It looks like it's a red candle, but you can see the wick of the candle is below. It looks like a bullish pin, but like a hammer, showing it's kind of pointing to a direction that we are reaching. We're getting closer and closer to where we need it to be, as we call it the bottom. And you can see it. It was a very, very strong resistance, which is where we find ourselves. I mean, support. Sorry, support. And then here we are again this week. We are printing a very, very not so good but bearish candle, which it seems to me that if we close again right above this line, it could show support, or at least confirm support at this level. But does that mean that this is where we're going to stop and see a massive reversal? That's not what it means. But it just means that we might find support somewhere here, and maybe have another dead cat bounce back like the one we had right here. You see what I mean? It could be, it is possible. But there's so many variables that's happening in the market that's showing us the possibility of taking down another, turn much, much, much higher than what we've seen, in a pretty much long time. So where do I see this going as far as when we're moving forward, right? I want to tell you that I want to show you this because I need to pull this up even more so we all have an idea of where this thing might go. So we are basically in a new trend. Remember, this was our support for quite a little while. You can see it for a few weeks, it was our support, and then we broke below it. We really did. And now it's a new trend. We are basically in this zone right here. And this one, we need to somehow make sure we don't break below it, but at least try to break above it. Because if we don't do that, you best believe that there is a much bigger chance for us to actually go to the next support level, which is this one. And when I'm talking about this one, you can see it as we move. This is a 200 moving average, by the way. And so I need to color something different so that you guys can see this. As you can see, the way this graph is traveling, if I can draw it pretty well, it looks like this is kind of the way it's going. So we might actually be able to find support all the way down to the 200 moving average, which is like 355 on the S&P or the SPY. Of course, this is the SPY, so it's more the ETF, but it's still making exactly what the index is doing. And so there is a possibility for more to actually be in a massive, or at least in the bear market. And it seems like the signs for inflations are much more, it's starting to look like it is than it was a few months ago. And it seems like we are heading into it, if we're not already into it, and starting feeling those ripple effects. And from what we've seen so far. But again, you need to understand that the market will never just keep selling off and selling off and selling off forever. It doesn't. Because if you go back all the way, you realize that yes, we've had sell-off, we've had times of market pullback. But when you look at the graph, at the end of the day, the market always ends up going up. It always does. In the short terms, it always end up, or at least it does sell off in the short term, and it's painful and it's not wonderful for anyone. But remember, I always say it's an opportunity to always grab some of the ones that you could never maybe afford before, or some of the ones that you thought you were too late to it, or some of the one that you thought, I think I didn't get the opportunity or the chance to buy, like Tesla, but now you do. And even if I want to show you what's happening with NASDAQ, It's very literally the same thing. You can see both candles look exactly the same right here. If I take this one out, you guys can see the candle from last week and the candle from this week. If I go to the NASDAQ, exactly the same thing. Candle from last week and candle from this week. Literally, the market sentiment is the same. And like I said, it is possible to see more downtrend than we've seen, but it seems like we're trying to find support in these levels. But to me, I feel like the NASDAQ, again, just like I was saying earlier, we might actually see it go and meet, like I talked to you guys in the other video, at this 200 moving average, which is about $11,000 as far as the, or 11,000 point, as far as the index for the Nasdaq goes. Now, first, I've got one of these stocks I want to talk about. It's an EV. I understand there is an issue for supply chain, but when I see a good deal, usually, you know, guys, when I make a video and I see a good deal, I always want to tell you all about it. And I think, to me, Lucid is it's a great deal. You know what I'm? If you look right here, this is when they IPO'd, and we all know that. Uh, we all know that this is when they had a merger with, because Lucid did not go through the IPO. I believe they went through a merger with a blank check. And so you can see that the blank check was about $10, and then after that happened, and here we are, and then Lucid jumped up, and this was the first jump back then, and then we went up. Well, anyway, just to cut it short, this has been our support for quite a long time. You can see that I've mentioned it right here, I've mentioned it right here, and I've mentioned right here, and here we are. And last week, you can see we printed a very green bullish bar, and this week it seems like we are holding positive compared to the overall market. It looks like Lucid is pushing back. So this is, for Lucid, is pretty much the bottom, because you can see where the merger was with the blank check was pretty much $10, and when it actually turned out into, I believe it was PCIV back then, it was $18, the first candle that really pulled back up, and here we are. This is the, like Lucid is literally back to where it was when it actually merged, back to where it was. So you can consider this one to be the bottom. If you were lucky enough, you could have bought it at 13 when the wick of the candle was really, really down here. But you know, this is, again, this is a company that's trying to be a Tesla competitor, and we understand that it has a long way to go. But just look at how the EV, at least market, is looking for the future. Don't look at it in the short term, what's going on right now, thinking like things are going to die or anything. There is so much money flowing into it. There is a lot of interest, and the world is literally turning into energy efficient, or efficiencies, and green energy. And so Lucid is actually one of the companies that's actually presenting itself to be better than like Nikola and everything else that we've seen before. And if you look right here, like I said, every single time I see a good deal, I always show you guys. And I really do think that Lucid is a great deal. Buying Lucid now is more like buying Tesla way, way back in like 2016, 14, when it was extremely, extremely cheap. And so when you look for the long term, not only for the short term, these are the type of things that you want to pay attention to. Yes, it's going to be a very bumpy road, especially 2022. But I do expect that the next half of the year, we should start seeing a lot more of the recovery. Because remember, the market always prices in what's going to happen later. Most of the time, the market will price in all the fears and uncertainty, and then the market will start recovering before we started seeing the ripple effect within the economy after that. And so you might want to watch out. This is the month of May, and very, very soon we're going to start going into the second half of the year, and you want to paying attention to that. You want to think more in the long term and see where opportunity is taking you. And me, since I'm talking about Lucid, we might as well just put up Tesla so you guys can see it too. And look where we are with Tesla. We're back to this pretty much support level right here. We bounced back last time, we did it last week, and we are back to it this week. And even if you look at the candle, it literally looked the exact same way as what I showed you about Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Yes, there's a possibility we might go back to this one, but this one has shown us to be a very, very strong support. And again, if you never had the opportunity to buy Tesla, this could be one of them. I'm just saying. Anyway, Thank you guys for watching this video. As always, I just want to show you what's going on, and I wanted to talk to you about what's happening with Tesla. I think it's bogus, but it doesn't change how I feel about the stock. It doesn't change what I think the stock is, where it's gonna go, or the company itself in general. Yes, it might suffer in the short term, but it always happens. This is the stock market. Things happens all the time. And guess what? Mervyn Capital, well, this is a victory for all the apes. And even though they try to cut us down, they did everything they could to screw everybody else over. But in the end, they are shutting down. And so, yeah, we really did stick it to them. So we handed it to them. So thank you guys for watching this video. As always, as for me, I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Oops. Can't find them out.